Welcome to the Transum podcast, a monthly roundup of the new features on the transum.org website, providing mathematical puzzles, games, learning activities, and the ever-popular mathematics lesson starter of the day. Here's your host, John Tranter.
Hello, and welcome to the Transum Mathematics podcast number 24 for October 2016, the 10th month of the year. Have you ever noticed that the month name begins with the suffix oct, suggesting 8 and not 10? Do you know why? Well, there's something for you to do. Quick search on Google will no doubt reveal the reason that October starts with OCT. Right, let's begin with the puzzle for this month, which is about 3 hungry children. There was a short queue in the school canteen. Aidan was directly in front of Betsy, who was directly in front of Carl. Aidan's age is an even number, but Carl's is odd. Is a person with an even age directly in front of a person with an odd age? Can you answer that question? Yes? Or is the answer no? Or is the answer it cannot be determined? Well, the answer is at the end of this podcast as normal. But I'm very keen in the meantime to tell you about some of the new additions to the Transum website that have appeared last month. The first is Maths Mind Reader. Absolutely everyone I've used it with has been extremely impressed with this clever little web page. They can't understand how it can read their mind. And then when you give them some hints and you talk about the mathematics and they start to realise how it does work, they actually become less impressed. You see, it's based on a very simple mathematical principle. And I sometimes wonder, well, should I talk about the maths and leave them at this state of being very impressed? But of course, it's our job, so teaching mathematics and getting to understand the principle behind the Maths Mind Reader is most important. As a Transum subscriber, you will be able to see what that mathematics is that makes it work. And it's something that secondary pupils should be able to understand, whatever their age, and the older pupils who've got an inkling of using algebra should be able to prove why it works every time. One of the visitors to the Transum website, a Mr. Les Page, sent me an addictive little puzzle he has devised called Zygo. He has kindly allowed a Transum interactive version to be created, and that is now ready right at the top, actually, of the puzzle page. And it is quite addictive. There are many different levels, so go over there and have a go. And it's something that is, as well as being an intriguing logic puzzle, is also a great opportunity for practicing number bonds for various numbers. And it's something that makes a change from doing exercises all the time, having a go at these games. So give it a go with your pupils and see how they get on. Thanks very much, Les. Pupils quickly learn to recognise and name regular polygons. But the irregular polygons are sometimes a little more elusive. So another new activity called Polygon People may help younger pupils to name irregular polygons. The activity has 3 levels, and it only accepts the correct spellings as right answers. So it's a case of the pupils having to look up or find out how the names of the polygons are spelt before they can get their trophy for completing the activity. For older pupils, those maybe 14 and over, maybe working towards their GCSEs or A-levels or IB exams, 2 new exercises, one called Completing the Square and the other A Proof of Circle Theorems. The second is a drag and drop exercise. The new specifications for the Maths GCSE state that the basic circle theorems should be proved, or the pupils should be able to prove them. And this little activity has the statements involved in the proof all jumbled up, and they have to drag them into the right order. So that makes a change from from answering questions and finding out angles. So give that a go. You can find it. Look it up in the topics page, actually. Go to circles, and then on the right-hand column in the activities section, proof of circle theorems.
You are listening to the Transum podcast. You can find Transum Mathematics at www.transum.org.
Well, when I've had time to myself, when I'm not been creating new content for the website, I've had a small amount of time to look at an updated app that I have downloaded to my iPhone. A friend of mine told me about this, that it had been updated, so I downloaded it. And even though this app has been around for a couple of years, it's given me a fresh burst of enthusiasm when I saw how it worked. Basically, if you have an equation written in your own handwriting on a piece of paper and you point the camera towards it, it automatically recognizes it's an equation, takes a picture, and then solves that equation and actually gives you all the stages of the solution. It's really quite clever, and it supports all sorts of maths, arithmetic, integers, fractions, decimal numbers, roots, algebraic expressions, linear equations, inequalities, etc., etc. And I think it could be useful. Pupils who are maybe doing some homework by themselves and don't know how to do a certain equation, how to solve a certain equation, and don't know what the equation is called, maybe will have a problem looking it up. So using this technology, they can take a photograph, see the stages of the working, and then perhaps learn from that experience. Of course, they could cheat from that experience, but let's the glass is half full here. Let's think positive, and let's think that they could use this as an opportunity for learning. My only reservation against using it, though, is that some of the phrases used to explain the stages of solving an equation, such as move the constant to the right side and change its sign. I've never liked that. I always like the idea of doing the same thing to both sides. I think that is far more mathematically sound, in my opinion. The answer to this month's puzzle is yes. We don't know Betsy's age, but we do know it's either odd or even. So let's consider those two possibilities. If Betsy's age is odd, then Aidan, whose age is even, is in front of Betsy, and the answer is yes. On the other hand, if Betsy's age is even, then Betsy is in front of Carl, whose age is odd, and the answer is still yes. So regardless of Betsy's age, the answer is always yes. So this problem was adapted from one devised by Hector Levesque. I'm not sure I've pronounced that correctly, but it was included in Alex Bellos's Guardian blog. I'm not sure I've pronounced that right either. So the original problem was published online in The Guardian, and people were asked to send in their answers online, and unbelievably 72% of the 200,000 people who answered the question got it wrong. So if you're interested, have a look at that, Alex Bellos in The Guardian, and you'll see the original problem and also a little video with some extension if you're interested in following up that further. Okay, that's all for this month. Have a great October. Enjoy Halloween. Bye.
Thank you for downloading and listening to the Transum podcast. You can find the website at www.transum.org, where you're welcome to use all of the activities absolutely free, or jump in with both feet and become a Transum subscriber.